It's we're live.
It's going. Can you see that it's going live?
Well, in my upper corner, it says live on Facebook.
Okay.
Now it says you tagged me, so I think we're live.
Okay. All right. Hello. Welcome to Truly Inspired Podcast. Today, my guest host is Diana O'Mara. Say hello.
Hi.
Today, Diana is an amazing makeup and confidence coach. She has this really cool group on Facebook, and she and I connected through another business coach. And so she wanted to share her journey with all of you amazing people, especially in lieu of everything that's going on with COVID-19, aka coronavirus, and all the, self-quarantine stuff. So we want to share some high vibe, inspiration, and positivity with you all today. So feel free to ask your questions in the comments. If you love the video, love, give us lots of reactions so more people can see it. Now I'm going to go ahead and share everything to the group while Diana introduces herself and tells everybody a little bit about what she does, where she's from, and all that good stuff.
Awesome. I love it. So I am Diana. I'm from Chesapeake, Virginia. I am a wife and a mom of 3 kids. I have 2 that are 5 and under. So they normally go to preschool, but they are home right now. And I am one of those moms that likes to be out of the house all the time. So this has been a learning opportunity for me, but I will say that I am really enjoying just getting to spend more time with my kids' personalities. So that's been fun. But my business is online community to make makeup easy. So I really focus on creating makeup looks and teaching makeup looks that the everyday woman can feel confident about going out in, the everyday woman can feel confident about recreating. And as Vida said, I'm really focused on confidence. And to me, it's like, that's what it's all about. If you are most confident with no makeup, like rock it, girl. If you want like a full glam face, then hit me up. No, I kind of do all spectrums. I got to do all completely natural. Let's get it done in like 3 to 5 minutes to like sexy date night. Let's get hot up in here. So that's me. And I am a Christian. That's a big part of me as well. And so one of the things that, as I was getting ready for this, I was praying over it. And one of the things that I wanted to just make front and center for you guys is I am a huge, I struggled hugely with postpartum anxiety after I had my kids. I have kind of ridden that roller coaster with it. And I have to say that I love that Vida is destigmatizing these mental health challenges, because I felt a little bit alone in that. But I will say that my family supported me, that I believe in medication. I believe in counseling. I believe in meditation. I believe in exercise. Like, I believe that there are so many things that you have to do to take care of yourself and that you should do. And I don't think you should ever feel bad about that. So that was probably way too long of an introduction, but whatever.
But that's okay, because people need to hear that shit. Like I take antidepressants every single day. I battle major depression every single day. And it's not when you, instead of turning it into the enemy that's inside you and turn it into a gift that can help you grow, then you've won. Everything changes after that,
For
so
sure.
I totally appreciate your introduction. It wasn't too long. It was perfect. So you were talking about your business. Why don't we talk about your journey to get there? Like, what made you kind of start working into that realm of, helping women make makeup easy so they can feel confident?
Yeah. So I think my whole life I have been taught by my mom to be confident. I was super lucky with that. And that is something that has taken me all the way through. Like, I'm not someone who really ever had like huge body image issues. I'm not someone who ever like, I'm over the weight I would like to be, but I respect my body. I love it. I'm happy with where I'm at. Like, I never struggled a lot with that. But I will say, like, when after I had kids and everything changed and my body changed, my face changed, everything, I didn't have time. Did struggle some with insecurity. And so I kind of like fell into the beauty business. I was originally in direct sales, and I just was amazed how putting on a lip could just make me feel so much better. Like putting on just the tiniest bit of makeup. Oh, you're fine.
1 second. I got a giant bug that is just hanging out on my computer, and I cannot even with that. Okay. All right. I'm so sorry.
You're good.
It was terrifying. Okay, go.
You're good. So yeah, so I felt like makeup could really just boost my confidence as a mom, and it didn't have to take a lot of time. And so as I started learning makeup, I realized that there was like so much out there that was very focused on like people who already have a lot of makeup knowledge. Like most of the YouTube tutorials, all of a sudden they're talking about like baking and highlighting and contouring. And this is something that like most everyday women don't just like know. And so I loved, like, I slowly learned it. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like, how has this transformed my confidence? And I want to use that to transform others. And then I will also say, like, as I was in the direct sales business, that's when I started to really evaluate, like, was this the right place for me? I love direct sales. I believe in it wholeheartedly. I love the sisterhood. I think there's so many amazing things about it. And Vida and I talked about this before, like, this is 100% about me. It has nothing to do with direct sales. But I had a lot of people who told me, you just need to push yourself outside your comfort zone. I was in a company where I had a team of almost 200 people, and like I was pushing myself outside my comfort zone, but I was actually doing a lot of stuff that was working from my weaknesses. And that's something that I'm a huge like proponent of understanding, because I think a lot of times when people tell you to push yourself outside your comfort zone, they're actually telling you to work from a place that is your weakness and not your strength. And I don't ever think that makes sense.
So, like, when you say push yourself out of your comfort zone, can you like elaborate a little bit on what you mean by that?
Yeah, sure. So I think a good question to ask yourself is like, is doing this going to help me step into the person I was meant to be, or I feel called to be, or God created me to be? And if you're doing that, then I think that's good, pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. I think that's important. I think that we have to push our limits. But I think that when there are things that are not generally gifts God gave us, and we are trying to take those weaknesses and make them strengths, like sales for me it's a weakness, and it's not something that this is a complicated thing to explain, but like it's not something that I think I have to make a strength. There's other ways for me to share and show value and that kind of stuff that play to my gifts, right? And so I think what happens is a lot of times we're like, oh, this is a weakness, I need to make it better, I need to make it better, instead of being like, wait, what are my gifts that God already gave me? We instead are like, oh, thanks for those, but I don't want them. I actually want these ones that you didn't pick out for me. And so I think we just have to get really clear on that. And so that's what I really tried to do. And that's what started leading me into this business that I'm in now.
Okay. So when you said you weren't good at sales, I mean, that's such a broad term, you know, like, look at Liberty Mutual and Progressive. Like, they're not selling anything. Like, they're showing crazy videos of insane people, and people get their insurance. Like, you know, so it's there are things you have to work within your gifts to get the results that you want.
Right.
you can make millions of dollars and
Oh,
not
yeah.
full pitch a single person, you know? So, so what made you transition from the direct sales realm into what you're doing now? Like, how did
Yeah.
that happen?
Yeah. So, it's something that's kind of like been a brainchild for a while. There were a few like key people in my life who I think kind of like grew it a little bit and grew it a little bit. And I 100% agree with you. Like, and that's why I didn't really want to use the word sales, but just in my brain, nothing else was coming up. To your point of like, pitching or like being super outgoing, like that's not who I am. And I think when I tried to just like pretend I was, it came off as really inauthentic, and that doesn't sell to anyone, right? That doesn't appeal to anyone.
They know.
Right. 100%. So, for example, for me, I took a gift on spiritual, or I took a test. Gift. I took a test on spiritual gifts. And so like two of my biggest spiritual gifts are exhortation and mercy. So I can empathize with people, but I can also persuade them to do something. I can encourage them to do something. And so those two things together, I was like, gosh, like I have this idea in my mind. I want to encourage women to be more confident. I want to persuade them to take time for self-care, to take time to feel beautiful. And those alignment of those two things was where I was like, I have to just do it. Like, I cannot keep trying to pretend that things that are not my strengths are my strengths. And just because I'm a perfectionist and I'm someone that I don't want this to sound cocky, but I excelled at most things I tried. So I felt like if I worked hard enough, I would excel at something. And I don't think that's always true. I do think that we have to really focus in on what are our gifts and then figure out where that aligns with our purpose and our calling. So if that makes sense, as far as like how those two things match up with my community, where I get to encourage, but also empathize, like, look, it's hard. Makeup can be hard and I don't want it to be. And taking time for yourself can be hard and I don't want it to be. Those gifts, I feel like, align so beautifully with what I'm doing right now.
That's awesome. You're in, I will say I am one of the paid members in Diana's community, and like this like highlight hack I got going on was
Yeah, girl.
I didn't do this myself. You know, I mean, I did it myself, but I learned it from her, you know.
Yeah.
So
She looks sexy as hell, doesn't she? She looks good.
Oh my God. You know? So why I just lost my train of thought. You distracted me with the sexy.
I'm sorry.
So okay, so you took the test to figure out your gifts, you created your community.
Mm-hmm.
And how has being a business owner, how has that journey gone for you? Like, how is all of that going?
You know, I think that part is hard, because I think that one incredible, there's many, but one incredible thing about direct sales is that there is so much structure and like backbone around you. Like, there's marketing and there's assets and there's there's just a lot of ways that you're supported. There's training that you just get thrown at you. And so I think having to learn a lot of things on my own, like all of a sudden I'm like, wait, I have to do email campaigns? Like, what? Like, and just figuring out like, where are the best places where my people hang out? Like, but I will say this also, and this speaks back to my gifts. So I don't know if anyone's into Enneagrams. I'm like not big into it, but I think that it's interesting.
Oh, I'm huge Enneagram.
You're huge? Okay, so what number are you?
You first.
Okay, so I'm a number 1. So I am the reformer. I am the idealist. Like, if a business is not, like, I drive my husband bananas, because if a business is not running right, I'm like, why are they doing it this way? I don't understand. They need to do this. And so for me, that didn't line up with working for another company. Okay. Because all of a sudden my authenticity and my said, wait, no, they're not doing this right. And I can't control what they're doing. And so I think that part has been really empowering for me because all of a sudden, like, it's like I am my brand and I can I have to let go of some of my idealism because look, like done is better than perfect when you're running your own thing, right? Like, don't we know that's the truth? But I also get to like focus on the fact that that is important to me and that like there is a lot of idealism inside of me. And so this is a much better fit that way as well. And I know that that's something that I was really born with was that need for things to be um ideal and perfect, and that's also something I work on. So I guess that's one other thing is that I don't believe that be, I'm not saying that because you know your gifts you don't have anything to work on. We all have tons of stuff to work on. What I'm just saying is that knowing your gifts can help you figure out what things to focus on and can help you really just drive what your purpose is and um, yeah.
Well, and it's so funny that you talk about how you're a one. You know, one is the reformer, the idealist, the perfectionist. That is, and but if you're an unhealthy one on the Enneagram, they are very prone to harsh self-criticism, harsh self-judgment. There was a study done not that long ago where a therapist or a psychologist went to and interviewed families of suicide victims, and over 2/3 of them had identified themselves as perfection, or their families identified them as perfectionists. So it is, you know, everything that we come, like everything we deal with is a double-edged sword. You know, if you hone it in a healthy way, it's amazing. But if you don't, it can be very traumatic for some.
Oh, for sure.
I'm a 2 on the Enneagram.
Okay. And that's my second. So that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a 2 with the 1 wing.
Okay.
So
we match each other.
We do. My husband's a 2 with a 1 wing too.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
So, but a 2 is the helper, you know, and when like an unhealthy helper becomes a severe codependent, and I fell into that, you know. Yeah. So I know the broad spectrum that is Enneagram.
But I think that's, to your point though, that's one of the reasons why, again, it's so important to identify where our gifts are because they can become detriments. And to your point, I think that that's, for me, those negative things, that's a lot of where my anxiety stemmed from. Like, I'm not a good enough mom. I'm not a good enough housekeeper. I'm not a good enough. And I still, those thoughts pop up, but knowing that those are coming from my personality and like the personality that I was born and some of it I think is nurtured as well. Mm-hmm. That makes me be like, wait, this isn't what everyone thinks. Cause I will tell you, and like, this sounds stupid, so I feel weird saying it, but until like a year ago, I thought everyone thought the same as me. So, like, and so realizing that you think differently actually is so beneficial, right? Because you're like, wait, that is not a normal thinking pattern. So
yes. Like when I realized that not the whole world saw me as a failure, I was like, what? Like, like, oh my God, Vida, why are you so hard on yourself?
Yeah.
You know, you don't realize it like when you're in it, you know.
Oh yeah.
Why having third party perspective can be so important. Because without that, like that's all you have is what's going upstairs. And if you're not in a healthy place, you're going to stay in an unhealthy place and you're going to continue to go down that unhealthy place. So totally. That's amazing that you acknowledge that. So when you hear those thoughts, you know, I'm not good enough mom, my house isn't clean enough, whatever. Yeah. what are some of the things you're doing to combat that?
I do a lot of like, is this a normal thing to think? I do a lot of, and I think this is super powerful, is think about all the good things that so, okay, if I say I'm not a good enough mom, I played outside with my kids today. I read them a book. I helped them learn their letters. I instead like turn and think about all of the good things you did. I had a mom a while back in a group I was in. She was like a mentor mom, and she said, you need to think of it like all day long you're dropping drops of awesome into a jar, and you can't take drops out. So every time you do something awesome, drop of awesome in the jar, drop of awesome in the jar. And your mom jar that of drops of awesome is just getting filled. You cannot take things out of that. And I think that for me was a really powerful image, and something that has helped me get through that too.
That's awesome. So do you have a hype file? Like, do you write these things down, or do you just kind of keep them to yourself?
Mostly in my head. I will say that I do, it's somewhat related. I do pray every single day about all the things I'm grateful for. And I think that helps as well. I know, like, I've learned a lot about what helps anxiety, because I am on medication, but I do a lot of other things. So like gratitude. I know you know this because you like you could probably write the Bible on it, but but like gratitude is such an important thing. And so every single day, usually right when I wake up, I think about all the things I'm grateful for. And I saw someone wrote like, what if you only had tomorrow all the things that you said you were grateful for today? And I try to think about that when I think about the things I'm grateful for.
Wow. I've never heard it that way. Like, I mean, because if I'm not grateful for anything, that means tomorrow I got nothing.
Right.
Like, that is wow. That's amazing. like, like I ain't gonna lie, I'm probably gonna steal that.
Please steal it.
So in your mind, why do you think the gratitude is so important?
I think it makes you realize all the good things. And I guess that's why I feel like it ties back to me, like reminding myself of all the good things I've done, is that I think it's so important to remind yourself of the good things. We, every single night at our dinner table, we ask everyone what their favorite part of the day was. And so that's something I'm trying to instill in my kids as well. Like, even if it was a hard, sucky day, you can always find one thing you're grateful for, right? Maybe it's coffee, maybe it's like that I got to spend 10 minutes listening to music, whatever it is. Like, I think that the more we can focus on good, we can just keep manifesting good and be good and all that.
Yeah. So you practice gratitude.
Yeah.
You practice talking yourself up. If you could take our viewers down the same kind of journey that you took to find your gifts and start using them, what steps would they take if someone wanted to actually just capitalize, like find their gifts, capitalize them, and go after their dreams? Like, what steps can they take to do that?
So the first thing I would say is take a gifts test. I have a couple. I'm happy to send them your way if you want to post them in the group. Figure out what those are. And then I will say that I think most people have like a few things percolating in their head. Like, these are things like ideas. Maybe they've just been like planted, like, God plants seeds all the time. Maybe they've just been planted. Maybe it's just been something where you've been like, later, or I'm not ready for that yet. Because I will say like this about my direct sales journey, like, without every single one of those direct sales companies and every single one of those mentors and experiences, my business would not be what it is today. Like, you go on a journey for a reason, right? But I would say take the test and then think about how that aligns with what you feel like your purpose and your calling is. So like for me, I have felt for so long that increasing women's confidence is my calling and my purpose. So I was doing that through my direct sales businesses. But when I really sat down and stepped back and said, does the way that I'm managing these direct sales businesses align with those gifts that I've been given? It was no. And that's not to say that I probably could not have done it with, like, use my gifts in my direct sales business. This just was something where it was like, okay, I'm looking at those gifts. Those align so perfectly with this dream, this business that I've had in my head. And then I think, just go for it. Like I think that we can overthink things, and I do that. Like I already said, I'm a reformer. I'm an idealist. I'm a perfectionist. I want everything perfect before I do it. But you learn so much as you're doing it. And, I just think that when you, like, my business is not where I want it to be, but I feel so passionately about it that the numbers and the, like, setbacks don't matter. And I think when you are in that space, and I think you're in that space for yourself, right, Vida? Like, nothing's going to set you back, because when your gifts and your purpose and your calling are aligned, there's nothing that can stop you.
100. Like, oh my goodness, it's so true. Like we sacrificed ourselves for so long for kids, for family, for jobs, for parents. And if we would just take the time to step back and be like, okay, look, what do I want to do? What am I natural at? What feels good? And then go. I mean, the world will be such a much better place. Like, that's truth, like, not everybody was born to run a business, but not everyone was born to go to college. Not everyone was born to be a teacher,
Totally.
like, and because I went through that. Like, my dad told me I was going to be an engineer. So, hell, I tried like hell and failed miserably because I don't like school. So
my parents wanted me to be in the medical field, so they still can't believe I haven't gone to a graduate degree. But yeah, we have to decide what's right for us.
Yeah, because really, and this is one thing that's been so clear to me, especially over the last few days, is, you only have one person in your life that you can count on from the day you were born until the day you die. And that is you. So if you can't make yourself happy, what is?
Right.
And it's a hard realization to have.
Right.
It's very necessary. So
well, and I think just to talk about that for a minute, I think that the times we're in are showing us that everything can change at a moment's notice. There is one death, like, I've heard this and it hurts, but it's true. Death doesn't discriminate. Like, yes, okay, maybe coronavirus is discriminating a little bit, but death doesn't. Like, if tomorrow is your last day, do you really want to say that today you didn't work on your dream? I mean,
right? I mean, when people are dying, let's talk about this for a second, okay? When people are dying, when they're on their deathbed, they are not saying, oh, I wish I didn't go after my dream. They're saying, I wish I would have tried harder. I wish I would have taken the risk. I wish I would have spent more time with my family. I wish I wouldn't have worked so much. We sacrifice so much, and for what? At the end of the day, so many people are living lives that they don't love and they're not proud of.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think, and this is kind of my personal take on this. It might piss some people off, but let's go. Okay.
Get it, girl.
So how if you're working too much, you're not taking care of yourself, like your body flat out tells you, nope, you're sick, stay in bed because you've been pushing yourself too hard. And I have a feeling that's what coronavirus has done to the world. Okay. So we have all been so fascinated with our screens and distractions and productivity, and we get so much more done and blah, blah, blah. But now we're being forced to slow down. We're being forced to stay at home with our families. We're being forced to have less excess, like save, like don't waste food and toilet paper and things because they are, in they're scarce right now. So if like this is the perfect time to be sitting back and like, what do I want my life to look like after all of this is done? Because tomorrow isn't guaranteed. And if we keep going the way that we are going, I mean, it feels like a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
So like it's just we have to do something, and the only way to really do that is to be the best possible version of you so you can contribute it to the world instead of robbing the world. That is one, you're robbing the world of your awesome. Two, you're robbing yourself of your awesome.
And God's looking down disappointed. I mean, God loves us no matter what, but you know what? He does have a calling for everyone. And if you have breath in your lungs, he has a purpose for your day. And I think that remembering that is really powerful. Like today I have breath in my lungs. So what is my purpose for today? Because who knows what's happening tomorrow, especially now. But I also loved your point that like, as we're like being forced to sit back and as we're being forced to take time to be more restful and maybe our jobs aren't able to work us as hard, this is such a good time to be introspective and look at what your gifts are and say, am I in the spot I want to be? Maybe you can't make a change tomorrow, but like you can make a change. So it's a good time to do that for sure.
I mean, I'm a firm believer in that if something comes to mind in an idea, I don't care how crazy it is, if it comes to mind, you are capable of achieving it.
Yeah.
You just have to figure out how to get there. My crazy idea was to become a life coach for people with mental illness, because there aren't a lot of us out there. And so many of us struggle with mental illness and therapy just isn't enough, and you wanted to be a confidence coach to teach women basic, awesome makeup. In fact, I even have a little highlight thing from your Jennifer Lopez.
Ooh, girl. Get it. Looking gorgeous though. For real.
Like if you want some easy makeup, like you need to hit up Diana because she's bomb. She's one of my favorite people on Facebook, y'all.
You're so sweet. Same to you, love.
Oh, thank you. All right. Well, we're about 35 minutes in. So typically is now the time where we start doing like our wacky question round, where people can start ask all your questions. Ask them all below. As soon as we're finished, we can talk about them, answer any and all of your questions, comments, concerns. I mean, I'm an open book. We'll see if we can get Diana uncomfortable. I don't know.
I don't know if you can make me uncomfortable, but like, it's funny because people will be like, are you like, I feel like people will be like, are you more like, are you not yourself? Like, not to me, but like, this is a question people ask, like, are you like less yourself on like Facebook lives and stuff? And I'm like, I feel like I'm more myself, if that makes sense. Like, yes. I'm just me, but like with no filter.
Yes. I'm the same way. Because it's like, I worked in the car business for a really long time, and I mean I'm quasi back in the car business, just on the buying side. But I worked in dealerships for a really long time, and like you can't curse in the showroom, which for me is a struggle, because I like accent words. I like.
You always say that, but I feel like you don't curse that much.
Oh my God.
It's so funny.
I mean, because they're accentuators, okay? They're accents, okay? You can't. It's like salt, okay? You can't use too much because then you ruin it. but like I like.
That's fair. I do agree with that.
So I like accents, So like I have an accent mail. I use accent words. I typically do accent walls. This is my office, so but like I like things that pop from time to time.
Yeah.
So, but in the car business, it was like, Nope. You got to do this way. You have to smile all the time, 100. But then as soon as you walk out of the showroom, the guys are smoking, talking shit, being ugly, like, oh.
Yeah.
So I,
No.
I enjoy that I get to be me, and like the ones who don't like it, like seriously, they can fuck off. I don't care.
No, I agree with that though. Like I've seen a lot of people say like if you're not like pissing someone off, then you're not actually talking to your ideal client. Like I'm all about love and positivity, and like I actually like cannot handle people who are super negative, which I know like you are like probably amazing at because that's like part of your line of work. But like I'm like no, you just have to be positive. So I'm all about that, but I also do believe like there are people that are never going to click with us, and that's something we have to be okay with.
This is true. And when it comes to negative people, if they are negative and want to stay there,
Yeah.
I don't I don't fuck with those guys.
Yeah, that's fair.
If they're negative and they want to be positive, then it's like, all right, we can talk.
Yeah.
But if you just negative for the sake of being negative, get the fuck out. Like
Yeah,
seriously,
sure.
I ain't got time for your low vibe nonsense. I don't. So, all right. Do you have your questions ready?
I do. I have them written down and everything. I'm on it, girl.
Okay, so I'm okay. So first things first, I'm going to pull mine up. So I'm not gonna lie, I get my questions from like these weird website blogs. So today your questions are from parents.com, I guess. Yeah, parents.com.
Oh no.
63 fun questions to get your kids talking. Okay.
Oh gosh. All right, let's do it. I've looked those up trying to get my teenager talking. It's still a struggle.
Well, I think this one's actually geared towards like 7-8-year-olds. So
It's fine. It's totally fine.
We will see.
That's what I'm used to interacting with all day, so it's okay.
All right, so I'm going to set the timer. I got 10 minutes on the clock.
Let's do it.
Okay. Start. All right, I'll go first.
Okay.
If you had a pet dragon, what would you name it?
Ooh. Probably like fierce or something like that. Like I'm all about fierceness. I love everything fierce. My like actual business name, my business name is Sparkle Room Beauty, but like when I started the business, aka what my tax name is and everything is Fierce Mama. And people love that. Like when I tell them that, they're like, yeah, girl.
I like it. I like now what just this is like total random question, sidebar question. But what color would that dragon be?
Pink for sure. But I mean, it's got to have the glitter, right? Like maybe it breathes glitter because that is my kind of dragon. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. That sounds like a great mascot for a children's book, doesn't it?
Ooh. Maybe we can get Dennis to write that one too.
Right, maybe we can.
Dennis, we've got a book for you.
Tommy's got a friend.
Here's the Sparkle Dragon.
All right, your turn.
Okay. Favorite ice cream flavor?
Oh.
Or do you not like ice cream? You can say that too.
I love ice cream, and that's why this is a problem. But really, I like the Ben and Jerry's ice cream with the fudge in the middle. I don't even care what the ice cream is around it, but as long as it's got the fudge in the middle, I'm
totally
cool. Yeah.
I get that. Yeah. For sure.
All right, my turn. Let's see. Let me find another one. If you had to give everyone in your family new names, what would they be?
Oh my. Okay, well, my daughter would be Sassy because she's 5 and she already acts like she's 15. In fact, today was a great day, you guys. If I'm totally honest about things. So this was the first day, and I'm positive, not even close to the last, where my daughter screamed outside that I'm the worst mom ever. Because I wouldn't let her come inside and get her stuffed animal because there were people in her house and I was trying to stay out of the way. So, yes, that's gonna for sure. Sassy, like mischief would probably be my 3-year-old son, because it's just, he does that thing where he like is like, and then he like, for example, decides to sit in the water at the beach last week when it's 60 degrees. He does not, and he doesn't care, like nothing affects him. Time out, whatever. He's like, fine, mom, cool. Oh man, my husband, I don't know, I think it would be like rock or like solid. Like my husband is like one of those guys that like, I'm like, please don't ever die because I can't find another one. My stepson, man, that's actually a really hard one, because he's like really evolving right now, I feel like. He's like super loving, but also I don't know. I'm gonna have to think on that one. That one's hard.
All right. Your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna give you an easy one, maybe. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Why or why not?
Okay, I'm gonna say.
You said wacky question.
I know, but I'm just, well, no, okay, so I'm less confused about your asking me that question and more confused by why this is the second time I'm hearing it in a short period of time. Yes, I saw it on Facebook just the other day. And I was like, well, that's an odd thing to ask. So I kept scrolling, but now that it's here, I have to answer.
I was not the one who posted it.
But I do remember having that reaction, like, wow, that's such an odd question. But so I'm gonna say a hot dog is not a sandwich. Because of the, like, first off, it's typically small, like it's in case, like one piece of bread, okay?
Yeah.
And really the hot dog itself is just the meat, and so it's like a hot dog inside a bun. Maybe you could call that a sandwich, but a hot dog by itself,
oh, you're getting technical on me. I appreciate that.
Because like most of the time I eat my hot dogs like just by themselves. I don't
eat hot dogs, but I mean, unless you're talking about a different kind of hot dog, then maybe sometimes.
No, I meant like, ballpark.
I'm just teasing you. I had to make you blush.
You did. You did. No, I didn't. Okay, here's another one. What sounds do you like?
After that question we just asked. Okay. Woo, mind out of the gutter. I like to hear my kids singing. I love the sound of laughter. That makes me so happy. I really like music. Those are probably the main. And were we there? Oh, I lost myself for a second. Those are probably the main things.
Okay. All right, your turn.
Oh, okay. So what was your dream job as a child?
To be famous.
Aww. Hey, that could still happen, girl.
Like, I wanted to be famous. I wanted to have my name in lights, and I wanted to be seen on stages. So I feel like I'm working in that direction.
Right. Totally. I see all that. That could still 100%. You're on track, girl. Maybe not in the way you imagined as a kid, but that's okay.
Right. Like it was usually that or a teacher. And so
polar opposites. So yeah. Interesting.
Well, but I found a way to merge them.
Exactly. It's true. I was thinking that as you were saying Fair. Very fair.
So we'll see. Only time will tell.
Right. Exactly, girl.
Okay. So what's a memory that makes you happy?
I was thinking about this, like childhood memories. So when we were kids, we used to go to Maui. That's actually where I got married too. So I think just like being there and being like outside and at the beach, like the beach for me is very, spiritual and peaceful and tranquil. And I think it is that way for a lot of people, but it also has so many memories, for me.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I like it. I like it. I love it.
That's a good one. Okay, so what would be the worst thing for the government to make illegal? I feel like this is like a loaded question right now.
Oh, it is. The worst thing for them to make illegal. I mean, probably like smartphones and tech.
So yeah,
I think
especially right now when that's the only way we're like staying in touch with people. I feel like I have never FaceTimed so many people in my life as the past few days.
Wow. No, most of my family's here, so
That's nice.
so I've been lucky enough to not have to do that. But yeah, I mean, so many people are working from home and all that stuff. So if all that gets taken from them, like what
For sure.
All right, so let's see if I can find another one.
Okay, while you're finding that, I'm so sorry. I thought my phone was plugged in, but it looks like the charger's not working, so I'm gonna go grab something. I'll be back in like less than 5 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Was it more than 5? Probably. Not as fast as I think I am.
Okay, so alarm's going off, so I'll ask you this last question. If you could give $1,000 to charity, which would you choose?
Which charity would I choose?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Probably MOPS. If people don't know what that is, it's not a cleaning supply. It's moms of preschoolers. So it's for Christian moms birth to kindergarten. And I think that when we go back to talking about anxiety and that kind of stuff, I think that's a huge thing as well, is getting plugged in and getting into places where people can be like, oh yeah, that happened to me too. Or, oh yeah, I feel that way too. And so for me, when I first became a mom, I went straight from a full-time job, a full-time corporate job. And most of the people I worked with either had older kids or not kids at all. And so I didn't really have anyone that was in the same stage of life as me. And so MOPS for me was like a big savior. Like all of my best friends when I first became a mom up to since I like probably still actually have been from that. And so I think it's just an amazing organization. They really focus on bringing moms together. They focus on like, you know, scripture and that kind of stuff, but it's more really just like what are these things that we're in the same places of our life about, and how do we be really open and honest about those things. And also there's childcare and brunch, and you get to eat your food without your kids attacking your plate. And I think if you're a mom with kids 0 to 5 and you don't know what it is, please go check it out, because there's probably one in your area and it will probably change your life.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad I might have to ask, like, put that in, like, all of them from now on. Let's see. Okay, well, so now I'm going through the comments.
Okay, perfect.
So Marie asks, who doesn't love hot dogs? So I guess she's pro hot dog.
I'm so anti hot dog. It's not even funny.
Dennis said, yeah. So I guess to the dragon.
Oh, our fierce sparkle dragon. Yes. Dennis, contacting you. I actually do want to say, I think that could make a really good stuffy for your stuffy line.
Yeah. He's, I actually introduced him to an amazing OBM. So hopefully, things are going to start really rolling for him. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Let's see who else. Oh, Angela said mops is the best. So you have another mops mom. Dennis said yup. Very cool. All right, so let me go to my group.
Your bug is bad, girl. It's right behind me. It's watching you fall.
Oh my God, he's back. Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
In the 2 months I have worked here, there has not been a single rodent bug. And the first time ever I spot one in this building is during my fucking show. Now he's in my printer. So,
oh no.
Oh, good Lord. Okay. I have to tell my boss we need a
exterminator.
Yes. Let's see. And then Michaela said looking good. So cool. All right. So we got through everyone's questions and comments.
Cool.
Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you online, on Facebook, on social media? Just tell everybody everything.
Okay, so you can find me, almost everything is Sparkle Room Beauty. So my website is www.sparkleroombeauty.com. I also have a blog there. I do talk about my postpartum anxiety journey, but I also give you lots of easy makeup tips. I just dropped a blog post, budget makeup products to fall for. And if you saw my office right now, you would believe that I probably know what the best budget products are. I have a small makeup addiction, small. And my group, which is where I would love for you to join me, is facebook.com/group/Sparkle Room Beauty. And I'm super excited. The end of this month, I've brought 4 other experts and me together on mom confidence, and it's going to be epic. It's called the Confident Mom Summit, and I have a clothing style expert, I have a hair expert, I have a vision and goal setting expert, and all of these are people who work mostly with moms. So, and I have a confidence expert, Shamay, if she's on. So anyway, I'm super excited for that. I think it's targeted to moms, but I think any woman really could benefit from it. And when we talk about God and listening to what he has for you, it's so funny because, and I don't want to sorry, Vida, I'm extending your podcast, but it's funny because I felt like the Holy Spirit was nudging me to do it in March, and it's going to be the last week of March into April. And I was like, it's too fast. I said, I was supposed to go on a trip to California on the Friday. That's the last day of the summit. And I was like, this is a nightmare. This is going to be crazy. I can't do this. I can't do this. And I kept getting the nudge and the nudge and the nudge. And so I was like, fine, I'll do it. It's not even okay, God, yeah. I was like, oh, right. And I'm not going to California. And guess what? Hello, because who's going to California right now? Hopefully no one who doesn't live there. And also, I just think this is such a powerful time where so many of us moms are at home. We're feeling depleted. We're feeling exhausted because we're home with our kids. And maybe a lot of us are not used to being doing that full time. I mean, my kids only go to preschool, but still it's night and day not being able to take them anywhere. So anyway, come to that. It's going to be amazing. I'm super excited. Again, facebook.com/group/Sparkle Room Beauty. And I'm on Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube. Just look for Sparkle Room Beauty.
Awesome. And when I post this in the on my business page and on YouTube, all of the links will be in the description. If you're watching the lives here on Facebook right now, I will put the links in the description a little later after I get them, because I don't have them all yet.
Sorry.
That's okay. I haven't asked for them yet. Usually I ask for them afterwards. So, but they will be updated in the description, so that way you can follow Diana if she is somebody that you would like to have in your personal network. And one last piece of advice for all of our viewers. What you got?
Oh my gosh. I think especially right now, self-care has been a big thing that's been speaking to me, is so important. And I think that when we get in situations like this, I know me, like, I honestly just want to curl up in a ball and do nothing, but that's probably not going to help you, and it's not going to help anyone else. And so I think taking time to do self-care, whether it's like getting ready, or whether it's like putting on a little bit of makeup, even though you're not going anywhere, or taking a shower, or taking a run, or spending time in your Bible, like whatever it is that feeds your soul, carve out that time. Like whether, and I know I might get hate for this too, if you have to put your kids on the tablet and take some self-care time, do it. Okay. Because that's the only way you're going to get through. And it's better. And this is one of the things when we go back to being a perfectionist and stuff. It's better for your kids to have a happy mom most of the time than an okay mom all the time.
Yes. I have heard that a lot more times than I can count. And even though I'm not a mom, I can't relate 100 to that sentiment. It is something I have witnessed a lot of people go through. So I'm going to piggyback on that just a little.
Yeah.
And this is a very difficult time for all of us. So it's very important to acknowledge everything that is happening to you during this time. If work is a struggle, acknowledge the feelings, get out your journal, let it out. I do have the Get Over It download that will be in the description as well. So you can download it if you need it to help you with your journaling. And it's okay. It's okay to feel angry, sad, upset, overwhelmed. This is all normal stuff, because it's unprecedented, guys. So don't beat yourself up. Give yourself grace and take care of yourself now, and get some clarity on what you want your life to look like when all this is said and done. This isn't going to last forever. Everything is a season. So that's my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth. And do you have anything else to tell?
No, I love it. And I think your journaling prompts are amazing, and I totally agree. Yep.
Thank you. All right. Well, thanks you everybody for spending some time here with us on Truly Inspired Podcast. Thank you to Diana for hanging out with me. I had so much fun.
Thank you for having me.
And if you need support from either one of us, don't hesitate to reach out. We are here. And then just keep going. Don't stop. Stay positive. Love each other. And go kick ass. Bye, guys.
Bye.